right, it's here. That's what we're about to do. It's been a while. This ought to piss off the HOA. Back legs down. All right, back down. One side down. Dirt dauber's nest. Pop the screws. And getting ready to take the front down. Deck's down. Glad I waited for the sun to sort of set because this stuff gets hot. You're probably thinking, wow, that's really short. We got the stairs up. And now it's time to jack up that top. All right, canopy is up. The vents are open. Tomorrow, we clean. We had some rain last night, but that's okay. This thing's been through it. So these are the modern burning units, also known as MBUs. They're self-filling. I got some video on that. This is a griddle. This right here is a cold table that I actually, it came with it, but I have insulated it. Storage in here. Storage down here. Storage in here. I took out some walls here so that I could store long things. There's 2 extra burners here, but another surface here to prepare food on, or of course to put large pots of something on. I have a 30-gallon and a 15-gallon pot, so they stand about this high. I got racks that I installed. They're pretty nasty. That's for all the bread and stuff. This side over here, I guess, was for utensils or whatever. Those things are done for. Storage here. Oh man, they don't even make this anymore, like that thickness. Wow, that's probably ruined. This right here is for spices. The clock stood still. More storage. All this stuff will have to be moved out. Utensils, toolkit. Hold it. Do I see what I see? Yeah, look at that. Hey, you know who this is for? For purpose. And that is the converter for 24 volt to run all these things. And this little button right here powers that siren, which I put on. And again, this right here is a warmer. Rather not this, but these are the knives and whatnot that come with the unit. But this right here is a warmer. which I've never particularly liked because it always seems to be in the way. I've actually installed that. And sometimes it trips breakers. There's the power setup. Oh yeah, this flops up like that. That little spice rack I showed you over right here. And of course there's curtains that we'll be installing, but not until after we give it our first cleaning. Oh yeah, fire extinguishers. That's a field of hose, colander. So we got our work cut out for us. First thing that's going to come out is going to be these MBUs. Oh, and this sink right here I installed because my business had to have a hand sink. And then it empties over here on this side. Got the MBUs out and unplugged. And he's taking everything else out. That's all the gear that comes with it. The spoons actually kind of go on a rack up there. We're pulling apart this so we can clean it. And we'll give it our first bath. That's going to be just to rinse it off. Then we're going to give it a foam bath. Rainy day, so the first part of this, as you see, I'm wet. It's good for a hose down. I've got some of this I'm going to let soak with the soap. But it is certainly prettier. Don't want to do this with the canvas on because we don't want soap in the canvas.
Remember a thing called G.I. Jive. PFC, the CPL, the SGT, the LT, CP, the OD, the MP makes you do cappy. It's a G.I. Jive, man alive. It starts with the bugler blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Hey, Jack, that's the G.I. Jive. I rootily toot, jump in your suit, make a salute. I reboot after you wash and dress, more or less. You go get your breakfast from a beautiful little cafe they call the Mess. Hey, Jack, when you convalesce out of your seat into the street, make with your feet or read. If you're PVT, your duty is to salute the L-I-E-U-T. But if you brush the L-I-E-U-T, the MP makes you cappy on the QT. It's just a G.I. Jive, man alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called Fluid Drive. Hey, Jack, after you revive, jump all your junk back in your trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. Your duty is to salute the L-I-E-U-T. But if you brush the L-I-E-U-T, the MP makes you cappy on the QT. It's just a G.I. Jive, man alive. They give you a private tank that features a little device called Fluid Drive. Hey, Jack, after you revive, chunk all your junk back in your trunk, fall on your bunk, clunk. If you're PFC and you fail to salute the LT, the MP makes you happy on the QT. Then you'll go to sleep before you count to 5. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll have to do the G.I. Jive.
Oh my God! It's over!
Hey, thanks for coming to my MKT. I'm going to show you how to fuel these things up. Basically, we turn the power on. These two I ran the other day quite a lot to do those tacos. This right here goes down to some diesel, and we just plug these suckers in, press fuel, and it'll automatically fuel. That's it, and then that light is going to go solid on me. Just like that. Now I need to fill up this one. That's simple. This is almost empty. Ran the oven almost all day yesterday. Probably not all day. About 4 or 5 hours. Too intense. I think it's a 15-gallon pot, so that's about 7.5 gallons of water. All we do is press the start button. Lights up, warms up. That goes off and press run. I'm not going to turn it down actually. We'll see how quickly we can get this. Careful. Oh boy, just did a foam cannon wash on pretty much everything except for the griddle. MBU's ready to be hooked up. I'll let this air dry for a little bit. Looks like I got two what they call enclosed back panels. This has got panels that are for winter, and these can be used for that. That's a door right there. Right? These are the sides. I've got two of those, and then I've got apparently, I don't know if this is more than I need, but we're about to find out. This one right here was with the original, and probably, as you can see, it's really deteriorating. But you can tell it's one of the originals because of the green color of the screen. So I got some of the screens on. They're not perfectly set yet. That stairway comes off. We're loading from the back end, and they're open for ventilation. Got them on. Every time I put these on, I'm like, I'm going to label them at some point or stencil them, you know, A, B, C, D. I'm supposed to have two of those, so I'm using a cold weather canvas cover for that. The door opens, that little flap goes over and connects with this. So it's time to hook these MBUs up. Oops. I'll give them a little. These little guys in here too. One of the first things I did back in 2014 was I knocked out these walls so that I could put longer things back there, and then I also have canvas bags that I put this stuff in. These has a fault. It may be empty. We turn this on, and we turn each one of these on. Okay, let's start them. It's been a long time. I don't know what's up with that one yet. This one seems a little bit better. This one's on run, so I can bring the temp down. Bring about medium right there. This one's still warming up, as you can see the light. They just need to run. Maybe without a towel for them. Okay. Good. Well, this is the one, yeah, this is the one where the dial is not full open. So that's got to be adjusted. It's hot in here. vibration.
This is the mess kitchen trailer. Got the cleaning stations, pair of ovens, 2-burner stove, large grill. How many people we cook for per day?
In this trailer, if you have 3 people who really know what they're doing, you could do up to 300. So we're doing 75.
That's not too bad.
And one person could pretty much do 75 people. But it's nice to have extra help, you know.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we got some beautiful cakes here. And come on around here. Most people haven't seen these kind of ovens right here. You can bake things in it. You can put the cake on top of here. You can also put a cake down here. You can also boil water out of these big pots in there as well. So, and then you got 2 stoves. You got this nice grill. And these MBU units right here are really nice because they're electric start. And so you don't have to use a fire to try to start them. So, very nice. And then when it rains, we're not getting wet.
That's important. We are.
Yeah. So here we're prepping stew for tonight.
Sounds good. I have to go check the mission board, see if I'll get any, or if I get a Bag Nasty MRE. Thanks.
Me too. I need these.
See that? That's all the canvas I have, not including the canvas that's on this MKT. Good morning, welcome to my MKT. Got some things I'm doing today, sorting out all those over there. All right, these are the side covers once it's folded up. These are the 2 sides. This is the front, and this is the back. Those 3 spots are where the tanks go. So we have vinyl fronts and this canvas kind of nylon backing. All right, here we have 2 extra spare sides. They look like that. All right. And 1 end. And that can go on either the front or the back. It's not that panel. It's actually this panel. That door flips over. So this is the panel. So this one's not as pristine. This piece right here is 1/2 of the awning that's on top. And it is in pristine condition. And it doesn't matter what side it goes on. So what we have here is, this is a trough. It's supposed to be used when you have 2 of these together. So if you backed up another one, there'd be a seam there, and this trough is kind of a gutter between the 2. I've got a new one and one that's been taken out of the package. All right, got 1 fire exit. I have 1 side. These are blackout panels. And then the one right here. These are USGI Lister bags, 36 gallons. They hold water. Soldiers come up and fill their canteens or drink or cups or whatever. I have 1 extra bonnet too. This is the original that came with the unit. There's only 1 panel. It's a side panel like that. You can tell by the green screen if that's the original. It's got some tears in it. The canvas is deteriorating. I really kept this. One of the reasons why I kept this is so that if I needed to send it off to either get a side panel patterned, I could send it off. Of course, I have 2 extra screen side panels in addition to the ones that I have on it. But also, you could make a blackout curtain also with this. Just send it off and say, hey, make it out of this type of canvas. It's the same thing, except they're entire sheets of canvas measurement-wise. But the straps will go in the same place. Lights. Whoa. Good morning, welcome to my MKT. Got some things I'm doing today. I took down those hanging lights and am installing a new set of lights that I got off of Amazon. And I didn't like the way the other lights hung, their fluorescence. I could always, oh, here they are right here. They're these guys. And I wanted better lighting. These are lights you put on a truck, right? They're part floods, part spots. So I think these are the floods and those are the spots. It's a combination of those. And the kit also has 4 of the spots. They're going to be 12 volts, and they have these relays and switches. So primarily I've got 2 things I'm going to run on 12 volt. The horn, the siren, right? And it goes up through there, right? And it used to be the only thing that got power. But now I'm going to have this series of lights right here, plus 4 spots around the edge, around the perimeter. There's a little switch right here that I use to turn on the siren, or flash the siren. And up underneath here, we have the 24 volt transformer, and that's the converter that runs all of the MBUs. And then we have this converter right here and a power block system. Through my conduit here, this flexible conduit that I have right there, so that when the top comes down, it bends. I've got to feed through a red, a black, and a blue. All right, we are fed through all 3 wires, and now it's time to hook this conduit back up. All right, got the 12 volts through. This, tighten it up. Now we got to pop it through that right there on the bottom. We have pulled through these. All right, got it in both ends. Now it's time to zip tie. And remember, this thing has got to bend. So it's like straight right here. I have 2 zip ties. I'm using outdoor ties. I think I'm clamping here and here. I found some of these straps. They're beefy, so I don't have to cut them up. So that's what I'm going to do. We don't want it bending here. We want it to bend from here to here when it comes down. Okay, got it secure, got it secure, got it secure. Got my relay hooked up. Couldn't put it here because it would tear through this. I'm going to go through this hole right here with the power cables. I've already got one. The blue already is hooked up to the hot on this, and then the common is also hooked up, but the common is also hooked up for this as well. So we got one power line going to it. It's steady power. All right, it's time to peel back these wires and stuff that box. I can pull these back through the conduit. And that's that. Fuse is accessible. So now we got to figure out where all these lines are going to go. Lights. Whoa. Good morning. Welcome to my MKT. Got some things I'm doing today. I took down those hanging lights and am installing a new set of lights that I got off Amazon. All right, it's time to peel back these wires and stuff that box. I can pull these back through the conduit. And that's that. Fuse is accessible. So now we got to figure out where all these lines are going to go. We don't even have anything burning on this thing. And the temperature is almost 100. It probably is 100. It's 107 degrees. It got up to be 126 at high noon. All right, got that zip tied there. I got the lights repositioned. Remember, these are combination floods and spots. These are the floods, these are the spots. And one of these wires, it's going to hit us in the middle. Another wire will continue to go on to the back for the back spots. And a short section of wire will be for the front spots. All you do is press this little button right here. All right, so off the switch, I've got my 2 spots. I tried different spots and tried one over there. That sucked because I've got this thing in the way. I don't know why I didn't think like that. But anyway, this spot will shine across this area right here. This spot will shine across this area. And if I put them in the same place over here, then theoretically it should shine on this part and shine on that part. So those are in. Got everything snugged up. Those are snugged in. That's all taken care of. What this looks like tonight. It's evening time. Time to see what the lights are. Whoa. Good grief. Oh, that's where the spot is. Whew. Good light. Took out the spots. There's still plenty of light. Yeah. That's a lot of light. Let's see how quickly we can do this. First thing we do, this is in the field, is unscrew this. Then we remove this. Then we pop off this. We turn this all the way over. Where it locks down, that's locked down. We're going to mark these 2 right here to let us know that's straight down, locked down. Then we're going to take this, find this little thing right here, and I put a mark there too. come in here. Let's see how badly this was adjusted. This is my best running one. That right there was one full turn. Two. Okay, there we go. Now that's bottomed out. One half. One full. Another half. About an 8. We're going to get this back on. I've got to align it somewhere in here and feel it fit into those grooves. Tighten it back up. Put that back on. Tighten this back up. Turn this to start. Turn on the power. And I'm going to hold this start button 35 seconds. It does have fresh fuel in it. Alright, so the good thing is it is running, it's not getting any error codes. So the next thing I'm going to do is drop this panel here, pull this, and see if I can make a better adjustment. But I'm not going to do anything until it gets to the run position. So we're going to just let this run for 10 to 15 minutes before I do any of that. Now that it's on run, I'm going to drop the control panel. See it running in there. And I'm going to pull off this knob. With that knob, we're going to go a quarter of a turn. Make that flame do what it needs to do. Now I'm going to turn it down. Here's where it gets a little squirrely. All right, now we're just going to let it run for a little bit. It does have some fuel in it that is old, but it just took on maybe 1.5 gallons of fresh fuel. Captain, there'd be hot water. But on a military kitchen trailer? In 2014, I was catering out of an MKT 85, and I had to fashion its own hot water system, and here it is. It worked pretty well, but then Harvey came, flooded us, and I had other priorities, and now it's time to get it back online. All right, so I got a replacement. This is a Camp Lux, kind of does the same thing. Batteries go in here. I think this is a water inlet. That's a water outlet, but this is going to supply me with all of my hot water needs. Now, my old one was fastened on top of this, so I could chain it to something if I needed to and secure it. And also, I roll it around on this, and I have a pan that I put on this. I'm having to redo this. This has been disassembled for quite some time, but it holds one of those, so the whole unit can easily be rolled around and then hook to water. So I fasten the top ones first, then the bottom ones, which kind of lock it in place. Stick that through there. That in there. Stick another one in here too. Now they're both in there. That's what we hang that on. And then we just hang it on those. I have a pan that goes in the bottom to hold that. And you can roll this thing around and separate it. Here's where we are on the project, on the water project. I already had 3 holes drilled in here. It's a 3-gallon dish. It's just to keep the tank stabilized. And also, it gives a little bit more stability because this part right here sticks out a little further. So I drilled the first hole even to 7/16, and I'm going to put the bolt there, and that'll keep it from sliding when I drill the other holes. Normally I would use a panhead screw. All the nuts that I have, that I've saved over the years, can't find the one that goes to this. The only thing that I could find a nut and a bolt for, with a little locking washer on there too. Basically, you tighten them on both sides. So here we have the finished assembled product. It's not much, just basically some old angle iron welded to a dolly with a pan. I'm not too worried about the screws popping up because remember, these tanks have a lip on them. Now whenever you roll it around, the tank comes with it. So the water heater goes on top, remember, goes on here, right? And as you can see, it is very stable, frontwards, sideways, or backways. You have to really put some effort in to tilt it. And hook this up, tighten it. It looks like pinning right about there is going to be just fine. All right, that's steady chains in case we want to temporarily hook it up or lock it to something, or at least makes it a little bit more difficult to be stolen. Tank and everything is pretty heavy, so it is nice to have it You can also take the whole thing off, put it inside one of those bins, which is probably also more likely what I'm going to do to keep it clean, and then throw this on anywhere you want to. Captain, there'd be hot water. 2014, I was catering out of an MKT 85, and I had to fashion its own hot water system, and here it is. It worked pretty well, but then Harvey came, flooded us, and I had other priorities, and now it's time to get it back online. Tank and everything is pretty heavy, so it is nice to have it. So, directly in line with the hot water outlet indicator, the temperature that you set, is this spigot right here. So that's where the hot water out goes. And this is going to be the cold water. So we'll go ahead and screw that in as well. And I'm going to put a little blue dot right here. You never know what the lighting is going to be like. Could be dark if I ever disconnect these. And on each one of these ends, I'm putting a male quick connect. So I'll put the female quick connect on the trailer end. And we are done here. All right, so when I get out there, I'm going to remove this, right, and screw that into the male end of the trailer. So this is the water hookup that goes to your water source. And so we're going to hook that up there. This is where the fresh water on the cold side is supplied for the entire MKT. And we have a Y. We need to supply water to the hot water heater. This side is the hot side. Hook it in here. There we go. So we're going to supply water to the entire cold side and check it out first. All right, person out there, there's no hot water yet because remember we got that shut off. And one of the things I do know is, I haven't looked at it yet, is I have a bit of a leak right there on the cold water side I need to take care of. All right, got it. Now I'm going to open up this side. It's going to try to light. Open up this, which will let the water through. All right, I'm going to open up the hot side, let the air out. We don't want any air pockets in that heater. Right side of the trailer, right by the wheel. I have hookups right there for a 3-bay sink that I could run either up here or down here on the ground, that being the service side. Okay, that's not this side, but that side over there. All right, and there's some air in that, so we got to let those out too. They look good. To start, I usually set everything to mid. Actually, that goes to full. All right, and I do have the batteries in there. And I'm going to turn on the gas. And what will happen is this will start up whenever we open up the hot water side. Okay, do it. It detects the water flow. It has ignited. That'll show you how quickly the water temperature is going. We're going to go ahead and turn it to max. This is the water flow. So you can slow the water down or speed it up. If it's faster, then it'll be cooler. If the water is slowed down, it'll be hotter. And because it has a little bit more time to process the water. I'm going to put my old hat on, and let's go up and check the water temperature. Hot steaming water. Whew. Doesn't even need to be that hot. There we go, there we go. It's this one right here. Neighbor's already complaining. Let's see here. Turn on the lights. Those are my new lights. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a sequence start to see if these things will start by themselves without throwing any error codes. This means, now, it may be unlikely because some of them have, the ones with these stickers right here, filled with diesel, and they really need to be emptied and filled with K1 kerosene. Should we look? Those two seem to be fine. Those seem to be fine. Can't tell what this one's doing. Oh yeah, it's running. No way. I don't hear any missing out. There we go, there we go. It's this one right here. Oh, they're still trying though. I think we're on our way. With the lights on. I wonder if this is the only one that's running right. Oh, that's running now. here. Turn on my gas. Man, I can feel that heat on the back of my neck. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, yeah. That's hot. These are medium burns. See what happens. See if they like it. I think that's lousy. I'm gonna have to do some adjustment. That ain't right. It's hot in here when I haven't opened up those. All right. It. These things hate diesel and they love kerosene. So today's project, these are the tools, is to get the diesel out of this, replace it with kerosene, and then tune my baseline fuel flow. To show you that these things don't like diesel, look at the soot. Okay, this is soot buildup just from that because this was clean. So we are going to crack open this, and we're going to use a vacuum puller to pull out, and then that way I'll know exactly how much I'm pulling out. But this right here is the tank. Normally, you don't even need to do this because these things automatically fill themselves, which I have a video on that. But this is tricky to get off. Now, this unit only has 50 hours on it, so it's a low-hour unit. However, it also is 20 years old. The gasket may go or be gone on this a little bit. Oh. That's not bad at all. That might mean that this gasket will still be fine. That is very concerning. Look at that. Look at the stuff that's inside there. Okay, so we're doing good to clean this out. Using this, we're going to see exactly how much crap is inside there. There's 9 liters out of this before it started spewing. Actually, it would be 10 liters. Still some crusties. A water container, but I'm dedicating it for about 15 years as fuel only. As I get near the bottom, I'm going to put some back in this tank so I can switch it around. No, such nastiness. Crust delicious. That lets me know about how much I got out of there. Okay, really pretty clean tank. So I cleaned up the cap and put a little anti-seize just right on the threads. This is in really good shape. We're going to go ahead and stick that on this. I just want a small amount of anti-seize and nothing on the blade. In any case, give it about a quarter of a turn, and that should be fine. If you have any problems filling this thing up, it's probably because you got a leak here. This one's about in the same condition. I lean just a little bit this way, and put my tip of this right here to get as much gas as I can out of it. Okay, power on. Oops. And fuel. You can hear the difference in sound when it begins pumping. Not air, but actual fuel. Pull from that kerosene tank right there. And full. Now for this one. Join me in the next episode where I make adjustments and get these things running the way they should be. These things hate diesel. In the last episode, you saw me purge the old diesel out of these modern burning units from the military and use the auto-fill feature to refill it with clean kerosene. Now it's time for final adjustments. Okay, I'm prepping to start, but I'm going to be doing some adjustments, so I've removed the caps from each one of these, and these are ready to pop down. I've got my tools here, got my little screwdriver for doing adjustments. Now remember, yesterday these burned bright orange, lots of flames, and that's what we're wanting to adjust. Especially at the low end. But what we want to do is start these and purge out whatever diesel is in the lines right now. That's going to be sit there. I'll go ahead and start them both up. See what happens. All right, they're both running. Still have the same amount of hot flame in them, but I'm going to let them run for 10 minutes. I've adjusted the high on this. What I did is I went down to the low, adjusted about like that, where every once in a while you see a little spit. Now when we go high, whoa, you gotta watch when you open this up because there's no stop. All right, low ends are working real well. much better on kerosene. Parts 5, 10, 13, 14, and 15 all cover MBU servicing. It's been a great journey with this MKT 85 that I bought in 2014. This MBU does fuel up, so that part's working, but it has some black smoke when it first starts up. It has an EO1 error, which tells me that the photocell probably needs to be cleaned and the valve needs to be adjusted. Working backwards, these valves get misadjusted a lot. So like when you think it's low, it's really too low, and when you think it's high, it's not high enough. And when you start these things, they need to be set in the high position. So it's like we're starting it in the low or medium low, which is going to cause black smoke. That black smoke, or even white smoke, is going to clog up, or rather reduce the effectiveness of the flame sensor. Now, this will run when you press start and keep it started. It'll just continue to run, but I was never able to clean it off. So we're going to pop this open. We're eventually going to fix the valve, because that's what the initial problem was, and then to inspect the photocell and the flame sensor assembly. This is the manual here. I've got about 5 of them. I'm going to crack this open. There we go. Flame sensor assembly is this thing right here, and on the back side of this, it peeks into this burning assembly. Okay, so we're going to loosen these 2 screws right here. So now we're going to remove this, and we're going to take a look at that photocell, and I don't think my camera's going to catch anything that I'm looking at. It doesn't look like it's got any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it off, and as you can see, there's nothing on that tip. It looks intact. Okay, I traced down the wire, inspecting those connections. They look pretty good. Those connections look pretty good. What I'm going to do is I have 2 sacrificial ones over there. I say sacrificial because I know that they got some flood water in it, and I think the control panel is completely bad. We're going to flip it. Since we got this opened up, I'm just going to go ahead and switch those sensors anyway. All right, so here's the one. I took it out of this one. This one right here says won't even shut off. Yeah, so it comes on, says 2.0 gallons, never shows hours, won't shut off. And then I can tell that the valve is messed up. So I've taken this, but chances are this could be messed up too. So now we're going to go over here, and we're going to reinstall it. We've got to put it up underneath here and put it inside of this doohickey, wire grabber. So I'll show you that in a minute. A shot of contact cleaner, wrapping the wire inside of this, and now we're going to deal with this next wire over here. There we go. All right, now it's on there. Okay, so hopefully we've eliminated that, and it might be just the that filter is clean. It might be just the way it was firing up. Maybe it's because this was not set right, and it was detecting the black smoke it was giving off. Well, as you can see, today is packing up day. We've had overcast skies and rain, so every time I pack stuff up, it rains on it. I pulled these out once before. They got wet, so I had to pull everything out and let it dry. I'm going to be packing up my MKT, which will be a little bit different because I've got things on here like this water heater, sewage tank for the hand sink, and 3-bay sink that goes with this. Yet to add my freezer. Anyway, everything's been cleaned, and the travel covers I'm going to go over. They've got some of the wrong stuff on it, so I'm going to go over all the hardware on it. Sorry about the wind blowing, but got the cap down. This is all stuff you want to do before you bring the cap down, because your back will hurt. But I figured I'd show you how I'm stowing everything. I finally got this thing right. It's so funny. I looked through manuals and I researched on the internet, and then everything was right freaking there, and I didn't see it because I had it folded back. All right, but everything is original that we have here. So this right here, I'm going to store in there. These are parts of the M59. These are the hanging racks to it. However, this part right here goes inside of that right there, so that you can put a hotel pan in or a foil pan in and let it steam. This is all extra stuff that I have, and other stuff that I use for jobs. Those are lids to the containers, and that is my large rolling bin. This is a sink. I've got nothing. Like I said, these are all the canvases in their individual pouches. Those are great because they weight them to where one person can handle them. I got trays in here. Inside of this one, I've got all of the accoutrements that come with the actual unit. and then some. There's actually more of these than I need because this was replenished at one point. This right here, this is a toolkit. Here's what's in there. It's this one. Screwdriver, wrench, some type of little hooks, probably for the build kit, chain, another flathead, Phillips, and a bone saw, and a wire brush. This is anti-seizing compound. It's a lot. And then I saw this. No part number in any of this, but it looks to be definitely some kind of nozzle. This is not the nozzle to the MBU, but it could be for one of the Coleman units that came with this. I'll have to remember that because I've got some Colemans to rebuild. Ooh, what is this? It's like a secret compartment. Oh, it is sharpening. That's a sharpening stone right there. Interesting. I did not know this even had it, and I've had it since 2014. These must be the honing oils, which are all leaking. All right, inside here I got my clock and my temperature gauge. The one of these that goes that way, I stick this way and put it right here. One of these that goes that way, I stick this way and put it right here. Over here, I got my fire extinguishers, my colander, because that's pretty much the only place it'll go, and my refuel hose. This is the handle used for rolling those up. This is for knife storage. My shields, burn shields for the MBUs, and then the griddle shields are also in here, and then over there is the spice rack. I also have the handles, which are convenient for pulling hotel pans. All right, and this one right here, which I'll be pulling out that way, this is the lift for the entire cap. I put right there, ready to pull whenever I need it, with the handle facing that way. So I don't have a lot of stuff on here because I have a heater, which I'm putting right there, sandwiched in between that bag. This is extra stuff and hoses and cables that I need for the MKT. And then I have two of these tables. One is at my work, and I'll have to get it later in the week because it's during the weekend. But then I just have to pop the front and shove it in. And I have on top here, I have one of my roasting pans. I have two. Inside of there, I have various cables and stuff. And at the bottom, I have various pans, hotel pans and half pans and such. So I bought these things right here, these bags. There's two of them. First, you have poles that hold up the awning. So one holds the poles that are on the awning, which is on the other side. And then this one is holding the poles, which go between it, plus the fluorescent lighting that comes with the units. And one of the reasons why I have so much room here is because I think there's supposed to be 5 or 6 drink coolers. I only have 2. 1, 2. There's supposed to be 5 or 6 of these food containers. I've got 3, but I'm only putting 2 inside of here. And then there's tons of water jugs, which after a hurricane I ended up having to, in an emergency way, fill them with gasoline. But so they're done as far as water jugs are concerned. So I got both of my cabinet straps strapped in. Everything is tight, and I will shove in my drainage tube right in here. I do have an aisle strap, but I really don't use it because I'm not packed up a lot. What's supposed to be in the middle of it are the 3 stairs, so I probably won't be using the aisle. The only thing I have to put in there is the stairs, the railings, and these 2 things right here. This is kind of helpful. I use these Velcro straps that I put on each end of these to kind of group them together. Ultimately, it's the best if you put some on the bottom too, but I've lost that one. It really makes packing and unpacking a breeze instead of just shoving them in and having one fall over and wrap around something else, because the next thing that goes in here is stairs. All right, they're all in there, all 3 of them. Normally when they come out, the first thing you'll want to do is put the left and right and in the middle. So now comes the process of the canvas, which is going to take me a bit because these are not the right attachments for this stuff. And they're giving away. So that's supposed to have rather bungee cord going through it and on the top too, so that you can hook it together. So I need to redo all that. So that's supposed to have rather bungee cord going through it and on the top too, so that you can hook it together. So I need to redo all that. So this is still going to take me a little bit of time. And I'll be using this right here. And when I first got this, I wrapped these and rolled them up. You're supposed to roll them up backwards, okay, to keep the rain from collecting inside of them. And I only thought, I only need to do the front or the back because I'm coming in out of it, and I'm letting these gonna hang down because, you know, why roll them up? Because I've got a cover that's gonna go over. And as Sheriff Buford T. Justice would say, you could think about it, but don't do it. And right here where my thumb is why you'll get little sections poking through when you try to travel. So the best thing to do is to roll this up and secure it before you bring your travel covers down. Okay, so my awning is all rolled up, and before, just to make things easier, before we put down the travel covers, we want to go ahead and fold up the sides here. Do not lose these. These things are invaluable. So I have 3 1991 U.S. military jerry cans. I got to do some restoration on a couple of them. This one's okay. But I just wanted to see if my straps work. But I'm not going to be installing them. However, when installing these things, that right there has got to align. So I got to pull this back. I don't know what I'm going to do about this because I don't have time to fix this right now. So as mentioned before, I've got upper sections that are losing their stitches. So I didn't want to put too much strain there on the top. So that's why the top looks like that. So this part is done. All right. So I have redone, except for the top here where I had bad stitches, I've redone all of the bungee cords with hooks, all cinched up. First time it's had its covers on since 2014. Ready to go to storage. And ready to be put in service, probably this fall.
Thing called G.I. Joe.
PFC, the CPL, the SGT, the LT, CP, the OD, the MP makes you do.
You guys.
It's a G.I. jive, man alive. It starts with the bugle blowing reveille over your bed when you arrive. Or reboot after you hey Jack when you convalesce out of your seat.
Have hot dogs, the cheapest in the city. I got them for $20. Comes with ketchup, mayo, mustard, bell.
Sleep before you count to 5. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll have to do the G.I.